Tax season is here and you have an LLC and you need to file, but you've never done this before and you're not sure where to start. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire process of filing your LLC taxes this year, step by step, from gathering your documents all the way through to submitting your return. This video is for beginners, so if this is your first time filing as an LLC owner, you're in the right place. Okay, so here's what you need to know before you start. Before you touch any tax forms or open any software, you need to gather your documents. This is the step most people skip, and it's the reason filing takes them 3 times longer than it should. So here's what you need. First, all of your income records. If you have received payments from clients or platforms, you should have a 1099 forms. You can find examples of these on the irs.gov website, specifically the 1099-NEC form. This is for freelance or contract income, and a 1099-K form is what you use if you receive payments through platforms like PayPal, Stripe, or Shopify above the reporting threshold. Now, if you haven't received a 1099 form, you still need to report that income. So pull your bank statements and any invoicing records to make sure you have the full picture. Okay, now your second step is to make sure you have your expense records. Every business expense you paid during 2025, such as software subscriptions, office supplies, advertising costs, business insurance, or professional services, alongside any vehicle mileage if you've used your car for business. You need receipts of these or bank statements showing your transactions. If you've been tracking expenses in something like FreshBooks or QuickBooks throughout the year, this part will be very, very quick and honestly take you like 5 minutes to do. However, if you haven't been logging these, you're going to be going through 12 months of bank statements. So make sure that you're tracking these throughout the year to save yourself a lot of time. Now, your third step after this is to make sure you have your personal information. This is your social security number or your EIN number, your filing status, and if you made estimated tax payments during the year. The amounts and dates of those payments as well is what you need. So you'll also want to make sure that you have last year's tax return handy for you to refer. Okay, now let me explain how to know which forms you need to file. The forms you file depend on your LLC type. If you're a single member LLC, which is the most common setup, your LLC is taxed as a disregarded entity. This basically means you don't file a separate business return because everything goes onto your personal Form 1040. Now, the key forms for a single member LLC are the Schedule C form, where you report your business income and expenses. The Schedule SE form is what you use to calculate your self-employment tax, and your Form 1040 is what you use to show your personal tax return that will tie everything together. Also, if you qualify for the qualified business income deduction, that gets calculated and will apply onto your 1040 form as well. If you have a multi-member LLC, the LLC itself actually files the Form 1065 and it issues a Schedule K1 to each of your members. Now, each LLC member then reports their K1 income on their personal return using a Schedule E. It's really important that the 1065 form is completed early because it's due on March 16th of each year, not during April 15th. If you have a multi-member LLC, your deadline is a full month earlier. Okay, so if your LLC elected an S-Corp status, you need to file a difference form. This is Form 1120S, alongside K1 forms as well. These are also due in March 16th. And for this video, I'm going to walk through the single member LLC process since that's what most people have. Okay, so now let me explain how to complete the Schedule C. Schedule C is where the real work happens. This is the form where you report your business profit or loss. At the top, you'll enter your business name, your EIN or social security number, as well as your business address and your business activity code. This is a 6-digit code that describes what your business does. You can find the right code in the IRS instructions for Schedule C. Then you can also get to the income section. This is line 1, which shows your gross receipts, which is your total revenue your business brought in during 2025. Now, this should match the total of your 1099 forms plus any income you received that wasn't reported on a 1099 form. If you go to line number 7, you'll see your gross income after subtracting any returns or cost of goods are sold. That's where you enter into this section of this form. When you then go down to part 2 of your form, this is basically your expenses. This is where deductions happen, and it's where most beginners leave money on the table. The form has specific lines for advertising, car and track expenses, insurance, office expenses, supplies, utilities, and more. So go through each of these tax deductions lines and enter what applies to your business. Because some of the most commonly missed deductions are home office, business portion of your phone and internet, mileage, professional development courses, and software subscriptions you use for your work. These are all tax deductible. Now, once you subtract your total expenses from your gross income, you get your net profit. This is seen on line 31. This is the number that matters so much because it's what flows to your 1040 form and it's what your taxes are actually calculated on. Okay, so now let me explain how to calculate your self-employment tax on the Schedule Self-Employment form. If your net profits from Schedule C is $400 or more, you have to file a Schedule Self-Employment form. This calculates your self-employment tax, which is your Social Security and Medicare contribution. Now, the math works like this. If you take your net profits from a Schedule C form and then you multiply it by 92.35%, that will actually give you your taxable self-employment earnings. Now, then you want to multiply that by 15.3% because that will then give you your self-employment tax. The 15.3% breaks down to 12.4% for Social Security on earnings up to $176,100. This is capped for 2025. And 2.9% for Medicare on all your earnings with no cap. So if your Schedule C form shows $70,000 in net profit, you want to take $70,000, then times that by 92.35%, which will equal $64,645. You then take the $64,645 and you times that by 15.3%, which will equal roughly your self-employment tax, which in this case will be $9,891. Now, that's a real number and it hits quite hard the first time you see it. But here's the small silver lining. You get to deduct half of your self-employment tax from your adjusted gross income. So if we continue with this example, around $4,946 comes off your taxable income for your income tax purposes. And it doesn't reduce your self-employment tax by itself, but it does lower your income tax. Okay, now let's put it all together on the 1040 form. Now, here's where everything comes together because this form is your personal tax return. Your net profits from Schedule C goes on line 8 of your 1040 form and it shows here as your business income. Your self-employment tax deduction, that's the half I just talked about. It goes on Schedule 1, line number 15, which reduces your adjusted gross income. Now, if you qualify for the qualified business income deduction, you can actually deduct up to 20% of your qualified business income. And on our $70,000 example, that's potentially $14,000 off your yearly taxable income. This deduction was recently made permanent and you don't actually need to itemize to be able to take it. It goes on line number 13 of your 1040 form. Now from there, you then apply either the standard deduction or itemized deductions. You want to calculate your taxable income, and you do this by looking up your tax based on the 2025 brackets online. And then you add your self-employment tax from the Schedule Self-Employment form. You then subtract any estimated payments you already made during the year, and you land on either a balance due or a refund. But how do you actually submit your tax returns? Well, you have 3 options for filing. The first option is using a tax software. If your adjusted gross income is under $84,000, then you might actually qualify for IRS's free file. This gives you access to free tax prep software. However, if you're earning above that amount, then it's better to use paid options like Free Tax USA, and these run for around $15 to $50 for federal and state tax. There's also TurboTax Self-Employed and Tax Act. and these are in around $100 to $200 range. However, the software walks you through every single line, and all you do is just answer questions and it'll fill in your tax forms for you. Okay, so the second option of filing your tax return is to actually hire a CPA or a tax professional. If your situation is more complex, for example, you have multiple income sources, or you have an S Corp election, or you have rental properties, then a professional honestly is worth the investment. Expect to pay around $300 to $500 or more depending on complexity. However, they handle everything and can also advise you on tax strategy. Okay, now for option number 3, this is where you file everything by hand. You can download the forms from irs.gov and fill them out all by yourself. This, of course, is the cheapest option, but the most likely to cause errors. So I would only recommend this one if you're super comfortable with filling out everything. Now, whichever option you choose, the deadline for single member LLCs is April 15th of this year. So if you need more time, you can file Form 4868 for an automatic extension to October 15th deadline. But, and this is very important, an extension to file is not an extension to pay. So if you owe taxes and you still need to estimate and pay by April 15th, or you'll get hit with late payment penalties of 0.5% per month plus interest. Okay, now you want to make sure that you don't make these mistakes for this year or next. So if you're filing for the first time and you got hit with a big tax bill, here's how to avoid that shock next year. The IRS expects LLC owners to pay taxes throughout the year in quarterly estimated payments. So if you owe more than $1,000 for the year, you're actually required to make these quarterly payments. The 2026 quarterly due dates are April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, 2026, and January 15th of next year. The simplest method is to take what you owe this year and divide that by 4. Then just pay that amount each quarter, and even if you end up owing more, you won't get penalized as long as you paid at least 100% of last year's total tax. So make sure to set aside 25 to 30% of every dollar your LLC earns into a separate savings account. That way, the money is there when quarterly payments come due. And speaking of separate accounts, if you're still running a business income through your personal checking account, make sure to fix that. Open a dedicated business account with Relay. They actually give you a $100 sign-up bonus through our link down below. And having that separation makes tracking income and expenses dramatically easier. It also looks way more professional if you ever get audited. Okay, now let me walk you through some common mistakes you want to avoid. Number 1, not reporting all income. If a client paid you $500 and you didn't send them a 1099 form, you still owe taxes on that $500. The IRS can cross-reference your bank deposits, so make sure you're putting every single expense down. Mistake number 2 is missing any tax deductions. Make sure to track everything. That $12 that you spend per month on your software subscriptions can actually add up to $144 you could have deducted. Now, common mistake number 3 is not keeping any records. If the IRS audits you and you can't prove an expense, it gets disallowed. So save all your receipts, keep any mileage logs, and back everything up. Now for mistake number 4 is not separating your personal and business expense, as I mentioned before. Again, this is the single biggest headache at tax time. If your business and personal spending is mixed in one account, you're going to spend hours sorting through transactions. But if you're tracking the FreshBooks and banking through a separate business account, tax time honestly goes from a nightmare to a couple hours of review. FreshBooks are also offering 50% off for the first 6 months through the link down below. If this walkthrough helped, make sure to hit like and subscribe because we put out new videos like this every single week to help you run your business. And if you use our links down below, we do get a small referral fee at no extra cost to you. It helps us keep creating free videos exactly like this one, so thanks a lot in advance. Like, subscribe for more, and check out this video.